Ach, up, ach, up, ach. Oh, rang, 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 rang. Good morning. My name is Chris Fox, and today we are talking about the value of extra editing. This is an interesting video to make, and it's a lot of fun to come full circle in that we have often talked about speed versus quality, and that those don't necessarily have to be independent. So, writing fast does not mean writing poorly. This is the first time in my career I've had enough extra time to really edit the crap out of a book to say, okay, I'm going to put as much time and attention into my craft as possible when writing these books. And I did it for two of them, The Builders, which finished out my very first series, and Shattered Gods, which kicked off the next one. So Shattered Gods just got back up to a 4.8 average. It has 91 reviews as of today. 4.8 is pretty amazing in my estimation. I mean, it shows up, it looks like 5 stars when you look at the book, which, makes me all gleeful. But the point of this video is the reason why these books are higher rated. So if you compare, if we look at No Such Thing as Werewolves or The Dark Lord Bert or any of my other first in series, Destroyer, and you go down the list of the various series that I've written, Tech Mage, my average is 4.4, 4.5, somewhere in that neighborhood for most of the first books of a series. And for ones that people really like Bert, then you'll get like a 4.6. But this is the first time I have put out a book that has a 4.8. And in the case of The Builders, a 4.7. It keeps tottering back and forth. So, one day it'll look like it's 5 stars, and the next it'll look like it's lower. I got to go get my dopamine hit and go check. But that kind of is the whole reason for this video. I've written a lot of books in my career now, and I can tell you different lessons from different books. If you look back to Destroyer, it went astoundingly well. I wrote this book in 3 weeks. It I feel like holds up really well. It's got a good plot. There aren't any major blemishes. I look back and I say, ooh, I could have fixed this. If anything, my only issue was that I didn't have a plan for book two. I was just kind of, pantsing it as I went. But I've written a lot of other books where I took more time and I tried to do it more deliberately, and it still didn't come out as good as I wanted it to. This is the first time that I've written something at the maximum level of my craft. I feel like, okay, I worked with beta readers and I thought about things and I really wrote it to the best of my ability. And now I've got something that I can be genuinely proud of. Like, I felt like I can't wordsmith this any more than I have. It's not going to benefit from, let's say, another pass, other than maybe a few typos being corrected. And taking the time to do that has proven to be very beneficial. So my stance on writing fast hasn't really changed. I still write 5,000 words a day. I still sprint out, my words at exactly the same speed that I always have, which is crazy fast by many people's estimation, about 3,500 words an hour. But I don't care as much these days about how long it takes the final book to get out. So I'm willing to do more passes on the manuscript, and that's really bearing fruit. I like having enough time to do 2 or 3 extra passes to think about things a little more clearly and to better polish up story arcs. So I've kind of hit a point in my career where I have the luxury of that time. For most pulp writers, we're not writing super crazy fast because, haha, we want to see how many books we can get out. We're doing it because our income is directly tied to the number of books that we release. And so if you're writing at pulp speed, which was coined by Dean Wesley Smith, you're writing at 1,000,000 words or more a year. I mean, you really just have to keep cranking every single day and getting those words down. It's a frenetic pace. But there's also a cost to it. And this year, I've kind of made a choice not to be a pulp writer. So it's a monumental decision point in my career. And it's funny because I started this year with the road to 1,000,000 words. But if you look at the spreadsheet, you'll see I'm way behind schedule. I'm like, I don't know, 150,000 words behind schedule. Because rather than crank out books, get them done, get it done, get it done, I consciously chose to take a step back and focus on the end of the Deathless Saga and focus on the beginning of Shattered Gods and really put my all into it. And I think that's worth it. And I'm not saying that I won't be able to hit 1,000,000 words next year. That's still going to be the goal. And I'm going to try and finish up strong this year. I'm going to try and narrow that gap as much as I can because I think I can publish 1,000,000 words of quality fiction every year. But I guess the lesson and the takeaway for me is quality over anything else is what I'm doing going forward. And I'm making sure that these are the best books that I'm proud of. I've hit that point. And I'm lucky. I mean, I have some capital now, so I can take a little more time to put books out. I understand, especially if you're a new author on this channel. You're like, how do you earn enough money to keep making a living every month once your launch window is passed on your book? And the answer is you put out more books. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this a little bit as it's a topic we haven't addressed on the channel in a while. And lots of you who in the past have tried to tell me, oh, I spent a lot of time editing, and I've sort of paid that short shrift. Well, I'm kind of coming around and seeing more of the benefit. And I think that's tied to my level of skill as an author. The more skilled I am, the better changes I can make when editing, and the more beneficial that time has proven to be. Anyway, guys, I am going to get back to the writing. I am about 70,000 words into book 2, Fomori Invasion for Shattered Gods, having an absolute blast writing it. I'm serializing it out to my list, so I've got people reading it and kind of sending me little bits of feedback on where they think the story's going, but having a ton of fun and writing fast and writing what I feel is really quality work. So it feels good to produce this amount of fiction this quickly. Anyway, I am going to get back to the writing, and I will see you guys next week.